My younger son, Owen, was born right as we realized Clark was having these problems, that we weren't sure if Clark had autism. And so I think that's what made it even harder, was that I had a newborn baby that was born with a cleft lip and who never stopped crying. And then I had this child that was Clark, who was pulling inwards, who was 3 years old and 4 months. And I was like, we never slept for probably 3 years until, so I had two children that needed me. And I think that was probably why I was in such a deep, dark hole, is that I was pulled in so many different directions. I feel like now that I'm, I guess, a 6-year veteran almost of autism, is that the way I want to help others is to be able to, I've gotten involved in other autism organizations. I try to help out where I can when people have been first diagnosed. I'm willing to have coffee, email, phone conversations. And I've met with other parents, or especially moms, to discuss what it is that they should do and giving them resources. There's a lot of times you're so caught in the middle of the diagnosis and the grieving process that you can't step back and look at it from a much more rational point of view. I think the things that can help me get more comfortable with Clark's going into the preteen years, the high school years, and adult years, is that I do see that I've gotten involved with working with different autism associations, that I've met other parents, and I've met parents that do have older children, and they're able to sort of keep us aware of what they are trying to do to help their children. And I think that does help me feel a little better, and to be able to sleep better at night, knowing what's going to be coming down the road for us. I've been through a lot of therapy myself, because I went into a deep depression over this, because I felt like it was on my watch that Clark, I should have known, I should have seen signs, I should have been a better advocate for him and pushed harder with my pediatrician about signs. But until you go through the signs of autism, I don't know that I really would have seen that, because Clark was so high functioning. But looking back now, I think Clark was born with autism, but it was just so, he hit every milestone correctly. There were no delays, speech or walking, or any significant delays, that there weren't any huge markers for us to get help sooner than 3.5 or 4 years old. I did blame myself that I didn't spot the signs of autism sooner and get him in therapy sooner. But at the same time, now 5 years later, I realize, would I have really known? I was a first-time parent. I didn't have any experience to go back on, and after a lot of counseling, I realized that I did the best I could at the time. I think I'm still struggling with the depression, but I'm in a much better place, healthier place than I was 3 years ago. I was probably at the bottom of the big black hole that we'd fallen into, and probably I'm better because I see that my son, Clark, is doing better. And so as he gets better each day or each month or each year, that actually helps my progress too as well. I think it'll always be something that I'll struggle with, because as much as he has gotten better, I still don't know what's on down the road. You know, will he live on his own? Will he go to college? Will he have friends? You know, what's high school, middle school going to be like? I dread those days, but I think I always will struggle with it, but I'm in a much better, healthier place than I was 3 years ago or 5 years ago.